Shalom. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for giving wisdom and the teachings of the scriptures, along with what comes with them. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the sincere Achim across the globe. And coming back with another, video based on this article that I found a few weeks ago, but I pushed it forward because, it's not really something, how do you say it, that it's a new thing or something. It's basically something that's been, an ongoing subject within this truth. And, the elder apostles of Great Millstone and, the bishops and all the other Akyam in this truth within Great Millstone, they've been talking about this subject for the longest. Now, the article is on 85 website. 85 is the broadcast news channel from the city of Amsterdam. And I'm going to go ahead and, translate it so the people in the world can follow it. Just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, here it is. And it's about this guy, Jesse Veldhuizen, from the political party Bijeen, which translates as All Together. And it's run by this female called Sylvana Simons, whose name you've heard dropped a few times in my videos before. Here we have her. One of my videos I already told you she was a dancer in the Amsterdam nightlife. She was a host at the television. Different types of television shows, and now she's the leader of this political party called Bijeen, which is translated All Together. Now, Jesse Veldhuizen, there is a video. If you go to the normal, not translated version of the site, you'll see the video, and he's getting interviewed, and he's talking about basically reparations for the so-called African European people that had been made slaves, by the so-called white man, so-called Caucasian, and he's riding hard for that because. I read it. Our program actually states that the municipality must play a pioneering role when it comes to reparations. Explorations must be done for this. Conferences can be organized about this together with scientists, says Veldhuizen in the ATV program. Whether those reparations should benefit the community, such as the slavery museum that is to be built in Amsterdam, or individuals, the party leader does not say. So there you go already, because if there was any cause about paying us, us being the so-called Negroes here in the Netherlands, if there was any case of reparations, you would think that it would go to the individuals, but he leaves it in the middle, whether it should go to the so-called slavery museum that they are about to build here in the Netherlands or in Amsterdam, or that individuals, every Jake that's from the kingdom of Judah should get paid, or maybe get all his how do you call it? I don't know the word right now, but basically when when you own different companies' money, when you're in debt. How can I not get on the word? So basically, your debts. Let's say I've been talking to Jakes in the world before, and some of them be saying, yeah, if they lose all my debts, then I'm cool with that. You know, that's some Jakes in the world be thinking like that. You know, so that's a scheme already. But you know, Jesse Veldhuizen, which I can get him up right here. I don't know if he's a Jake. I doubt it. I can tell that he's not an Edomite. He got Edomite blood, I think. In this picture, you see it very clearly. You see the Edomite in him, but you also see that he's not 100% Edomite. He's, you know, the so-called mix. We, in the truth, know that, you know, you are what you are of your father. So what your father is what you is. But when your father is an Edomite and he lays with like an Elamite, a so-called East Indian, you know, you don't get your basic Edomite out of it. The result, the physical appearance won't be, you know, a real Edomite, so to speak. So here you see him with long hair, which the scriptures say it's a shame for a man to have long hair. And yeah, he's been in the news. He's been on the front line for some time now, based on what I find on the internet. But he might be a Jake too. He might be a descendant of the tribes of Israel. But see, it doesn't matter what tribe he is or what nation he is, because this thing is not about reparations. The nation of E, they cannot pay back the harm that they did to the nation of Israel. And we're going to get into that. So if any of you want to watch it out, check it out. Let me see. You know, the website is right here. You see it on the top of the screen. www.85.nl articles, and then you just, you know, press his name, Jesse Veldhuizen. Now I must say, Veldhuizen, I know that name from the Suriname people. I myself am from Suriname, so-called Suriname descendant, and I know that Veldhuizen with a Z or with a S, those three names, they appear regularly. You know, they appear within our so-called community, the Suriname community. Right? Let me translate it again. Now, Jesse Veldhuizen, he's basing his claims and his crusade, basically. He's basing it on the fact that the city of Amsterdam, last year, they made excuses for their history of slavery. You know, we had the mayor of Amsterdam coming with an official excuse, and you know, I'm gonna read some out of that. This is the article. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. I don't know why it's not translating. Just bear with me for 1 second. No, it's not able. We're not able to translate it. I don't know why. Satan. Let's play a little bit of the video though.
Burgemeester Halsema van Amsterdam biedt vandaag officieel excuses aan voor het slavernijverleden van de hoofdstad. Ze zal dat doen in een toespraak tijdens de nationale herdenking Nederlands slavernijverleden. Ruben Koops, verslaggever van het Parool. Goedemorgen.
So this is basically before the mayor was making her excuse, and they, you know, the reporter is talking about that the mayor is going to make her excuse later that day.
Wat betekent deze stap?
Ja, dit is echt een betekenisvol moment. Later vanmiddag in het Amsterdamse Oosterpark bij het Nationaal Monument Slavernijverleden. Waarin Halsema eigenlijk als eerste bestuurder en Amsterdam als eerste overheid in het Koninkrijk excuses gaat maken. Dat gaat
So there's a picture of the mayor of Amsterdam, and basically the guy is talking about the city of Amsterdam will be the first government body that is going to make openly excuses and official excuses. And we can play it on, but you already know what they're going to talk about. It's just a bunch of garbage, because it's not about this shit. This stuff is not about excuses. I'm gonna translate it for y'all. Who reads the facts about Amsterdam's role in the transatlantic slave trade might ask himself why it took so long. Almost 150 years after the abolishment of slavery, the capital will go on his knees, loosely translated. Now, we in Great Millstone, Holland, we on a regular we talk about how the Dutch slave masters went on for at least 10 years after slavery was abolished. So they kept going on with it. So, these Dutch East, they are a special kind of devil, man. As one of the brothers in Great Millstone, Holland always says. They are a special kind of demon, So the mayor, she made excuse because her team of politic people, I don't know how you translate it, but they asked her to do the official excuse, He said that in 2013, the city of Amsterdam already showed their regrets, and the then mayor, Lodewijk Asscher, and Abraham van der Laan, who are both Amalekites, they made some excuses. No, they didn't make excuses. They said they were regretting it. That's basically what they did. So it goes on, talks about that stuff. You see the so-called king, of the Netherlands, the peasant king, It's all for the face, because for the sight, I have to say, because when we had our Black Lives Matter, gathering a few years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago in the city of Amsterdam, because this Black Lives Matter stuff, it even went all the way to Asia, to China. I remember seeing a video, people in fucking Hong Kong or whatever city it was, walking with signs talking about Black Lives Matter. Shows you that, it's all orchestrated. We know that. George Soros and those two members of the alphabet people, they orchestrated this stuff after the George Floyd so-called drama happened, and the whole world was in awe. In awe. How can this happen? How can this happen? So it's all orchestrated. I'm not gonna read too much out of this bullshit. Just gonna put it away. So basically, Jesse Veldhuizen, his crusade was based on that. Now, when you are a so-called black person in the world, your roots go further than just slavery, But us being in slavery that time was a curse, because we did not take heed to the Most High's statutes, commandments, and His law, And He warned us in the book of Deuteronomy about that. Now, when the nation of Israel came out of Egypt, we went into the land that was promised to us, the land that was by then, the people of Canaan, they were dwelling there, and the Most High gave that land to us. But He also told us that if we go against His law, statutes, and commandments, that And I read Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now look, let's look up that word Egypt quick. You know, the word Egypt. You know, double straight, the inhabitants or natives of Egypt. Yeah. Let's see here, man. Well, it's not written here again. I don't know why, but I got this too, the Etem online, because the word Egypt means house of bondage. Okay? Egypt. Yeah. I can really find it right now. But going back to the scripture, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now hold on for 1 second. I'm just going to turn on the light. Turn on the light. Turn on the light. That's a good song, man. So, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So he's talking to the nation of Israel who just came out of Egypt. And they walked out of Egypt, according to the book of Exodus. They walked 40 years in the desert, and then they came into the land of Canaan. Now, why would the Most High say that he would bring the nation of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and all who derive from them via their father? Why would he say he shall bring them into Egypt again with ships? Now, that's a very easy question to be asked on that part. And the question that needs to be asked is, who in this world, in the history of this planet, was brought from the land of the so-called Middle East, or for the land of Africa, to the Americas with ships? Who was that? That was us, the so-called Negroes. Now, the Latinos, the so-called Latinos and the so-called Native Americans, they were brought also with ships towards the so-called Americas. But that's a whole other story. I'm just want to focus on the people that was in the Atlantic slave trade, because that's what this is talking about. It's talking about the Atlantic slave trade, man. You know? So that happened as a curse, you know. And what happened there? What happened there? Let's go to Joel 3:3. Joel chapter 3 verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Now, were we not, when we came out of the ships, when we came into the United States, into North America, when we came there, weren't they casting lots for us? And weren't they selling us for all kinds of cheap prices? Well, that's what happened there. You understand? So again, that was a curse that was put upon us. You know? Let me see if I can, Zechariah 2:8. Because this thing is not about reparation. That's the whole purpose of this video, man. This thing is not about reparations. There's no money in the world that you can pay for what you had done to us. You know, there's only one way that you're going to pay for this. You know? And we're doing this work, you know, because the Most High, he got to elect. You know, let's read Zechariah chapter 2 verse 8. Zechariah chapter 2 verse 8. For thus said the Most High, Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touched you touched the apple of his eye. Now the nations spoiled us. Before us going into this Atlantic slave trade, we were all slaves by the Babylonians, by the Assyrians, all the nations that ruled over us, I gotta say. The Greeks also made us slaves, the Romans. And this is the new Roman Empire that we're in. Roman revived empire 2.0, as the elder apostle Tahar used to say. Now, he that touched you touched the apple of his eye. Now, we all know what that means, the apple of his eye. That's his favorite. We, the nation of Israel, are the Most High's favorite. So, he punished us for not listening to his statutes, laws, and commandments. But that doesn't mean that we're not his favorite, his apple of his eye. As a son, as a father, I'm father myself. I got two, and I don't want to say I have a favorite, but I do have a favorite. Yeah, I love them both, but one is my favorite, and that's also according to the Most High. So you touch the apple of his eye by bringing them into the Americas with cargo slave ships, okay? And for that shit right there that you did, you're gonna pay the highest price. This is Obadiah Obadiah verse 18, because Obadiah is just one book, so it's really no use to say Obadiah 1 verse 18. But again, Obadiah verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. It's talking about the two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the so-called Negroes, who are the house of Jacob, and the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, who are the house of Joseph. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord, the Most High, hath spoken it. So that's the ultimate price that you're going to pay. You not being here after you build the kingdom of heaven for us. That's what's going to happen. You're going to build the kingdom. In the kingdom that's coming, you are going to build it for us, and then we're going to wipe you. The Most High is going to wipe you out. There won't be any remaining of you. Let's see if we can get that quick in the Apocrypha. I hope he gets it, man. Nah, he's not getting it. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up very quick. Gone. 2nd Esther chapter 6. You know what I'm saying? Verse 9. 2nd Esther 6 and 9. Oh man, why now? Please not now. 6 and 9. See, 2nd Esther chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So, the so-called Caucasian is the end of the world. And that's basically true, man. Not basically, that's 100% truth. Absolute truth. They are destroying and devouring the earth. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. You see? So the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom to be, is for the nation of Israel, for Jacob, man. You go to Psalms 149. Verse 8. Khan. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 149, verse 7. I started 7. to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind the kings with chains and the nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Most High. So you, as a member of the nation of Israel, whether you are LeBron James or you're some bum on the streets of Amsterdam or Los Angeles or whatever, you know, you're going to execute judgment upon them, as it is written. You are going to be able to bind the kings with chains and the nobles with fetters of iron. Well, that's basically for the elect, the 144,000 and the innumerable multitude. But any Israelite will be, will have a very high place. Will have a good place in the kingdom of heaven, man, because we are the apple of the Most High's eye. You know, he don't see us as some bombs or some spittle. He made that covenant with Abraham, you know, and via Isaac it came on to Jacob, you know. So the birthright came onto the nation of Israel, onto Jacob, and the birthright is this what I just read, the kingdom of heaven, you know. Let's go to Revelation 2 and 26. Revelation 2 and 26. Yeah. Revelation chapter 2 verse 26. And he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So that's speaking of the hopeful elect. You know, people that are in this truth, that know this truth and trying to keep the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, the Shabbat, you know, that don't, that do their best, in the best of their abilities to hold those statutes and commandments. You know, he that does that, and he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. See, that's the kingdom of heaven, because all the other nations, except for Esau, Edom, they will be under subjection of the nation of Israel, and they will know by then what it is when this world is ruled by a righteous people, by the rightful heirs, you know, so to speak. Because then they will know how good it can be on this planet Earth, you know. Malachi 1 and 4. Now, people might listen to this stuff and be like, yeah, but that's not good, and why not? Why are they not included into this? Why is also only us? And no, they gotta be also. Nah, man. It's because the Most High said it in the first place, and not because Jesse Veldhuizen, let's say he's an Edomite and he's been doing some hard labor concerning reparations, and he's trying to have this stuff. And nah, man, he's a politician, and politicians are puppets for the so-called elites. He's doing the work for the so-called elites to stir up the people, have them on the streets fighting, or just, you know, making profit out of it, man. Because that's what they still do, you know. And he said it. They don't know if the reparations, if it would come that far, should it go to individuals or should the money go into places like the slavery museum? Malachi chapter 1 verse 1. The burden of the word of the Most High to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Most High. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Most High? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons, for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Most High of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High had indignation forever. You know? So that's very clear right there. You know? And I got a precept on that, Jeremiah 51 and 25. You know? Jeremiah 51, verse 25. Again, Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 25. Behold, I'm against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Most High. I just said it, right? These so-called Caucasians, they are destroying the earth. Under their rulership, the fishes jump out of the sea and end up on the beach. You know, under their rulership, we got all types of cross-breeding animals. Under their rulership, oil pipes burst open and fuck up the whole beach and the whole sea. Under their rulership, you have to pay taxes, all kinds of weird stuff going on. All this alphabet people, as my man Dave Chappelle is calling them. You know, the LGBTQTAZ, whatever kind of shit, weird stuff is going on there. Behold, I'm against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Most High, which destroyed all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. So that's what's going to happen, man. You're going to burn, man. He is going to burn. Another precept is Nahum 3. Let's go there. Nahum 3, 1 and 5. Woe, Nahum chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. So when you see an article like, Jesse Veldhuizen with his bitch ass, talking about, yeah, we need reparations and all that stuff, and you see pictures with him with his long hair, and they're telling you, yeah, we don't know if the money needs to go to the individual or to this or that party. That is all full of lies and robbery. You know, they've been robbing us as a nation, man. They robbed us of our nationality. They robbed us of our physical skills. You know, they robbed us of our labor. You know, the whole industrial revolution was partly financed by the Atlantic slave trade. Verse 2, the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. Let me see. Yeah, it goes on. The horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that sold nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. And that's play, man. That's what the so-called Caucasian been doing, man, with their witchcraft. You know, and the whoredom speaks about, you know, the many philosophies that they are bringing all together. You know, whether it's Greek philosophy, Roman philosophy, Babylonian, Egypt, all that garbage. They bring it all together, man. You know, South Park speaks a lot of it. You know, the cartoon South Park. Verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Most High of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. So according to Isaiah chapter 14, you know, all these other nations beside the nation of Israel and the nation of Esau, they will see who this man really is, who this nation really is. You know, what's their shame, what they've been doing, what they've been hiding, you know. Yeah, man, it's real, man, and it's about that time, you know. It's not that long that it's going to take. 2nd Esther chapter 15, 21. Go to 2nd Esther chapter 15 and 21. 2nd Esther chapter 15, verse 21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, because they are still doing all this shit that they've been doing, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus said the Most High Power. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. Scripture's talking about blood needs to be avenged with blood. Not particularly those words, but you know, they say you can fight fire with fire. Well, according to the Most High, you can, you know, and you will see it pretty soon, man. Because when Yahweh and the angels come, they're not coming to talk. Yahweh said, I will not meet you as a man. So he's coming to war, man, to wage wars with these people, you know. And in 1 hour shall that city be done, that wicked city called Babylon. and all his minions, the Netherlands, France, England, Spain, all those nations that are with Babylon the Great. Within 1 hour it shall be done, man. Yeah, so, second Esdras 50, oh yeah, 55, and 63. The same chapter, it's kind of long, you know. It's from 55 all the way on down. I shall read it. The reward of my, second Esdras chapter 50 verse 55, the brother Bakar Ahmad. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. Therefore shalt thou receive recompense, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, which are the nation of Israel, said the Most High. Even so shall the power do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Thou as unhappy shalt come through the sea, and receive plagues again. And in the passage they shall rush on the idol city, and shall destroy some portion of thy land, and consume part of thy glory, and shall return to Babylon that was destroyed. And thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire. Here we have it again, Obadiah verse 18. And shall consume thee and thy cities, thy land and thy mountains, all thy woods and thy fruitful trees shall they burn up with fire. Thy children shall they carry away captive, and look what thou hast, and look what thou hast, they shall spoil it, and mar the beauty of thy face. Man, you got it coming, man, E. So-called Caucasian got it coming, man. Now the last, scripture I'm going to pull, Psalms 107. Yeah, let's keep it here. 137, verse 7. Psalms chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So, all these people talking about reparation, they don't know what they're talking about, man. Because this is really what's going to happen. So it's 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. As they did with us, man. You got this Jim Crow Museum, I think, or Slavery Museum in the Americas, which got all types of little statues with crocodiles with little baby Israelites in them, man. Because that's what they used to do. They used to feed our children, our babies, to the crocodiles and the alligators, just to lure them in so they can kill the alligator, of course, and then make whatever kind of leather out of it. Man, you're going to pay, man. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So everything you did to us, you're going to get it back, man. And in multiple fold. You understand? We're going to do to you as no nation has ever been done on, man. With all the spiritual power that's going to be given to us, by the Most High, our Ratasa. You know what I'm saying? And even in this day and age, because a whole lot of these so-called celebrity jakes that go well in this world, so to speak, they are MK Ultra assets. The Steph Currys of this world, a whole lot of these rappers and these singers, they are being used too. They had talents. When they were 18, 16 years old, they had a so-called dream. They were thinking about making it to the top of this world. And then E came with this these options. Kanye West. They make them MK Ultra subjects, man. Like shown in the movie Get Out. That's really how it goes, man. Because they control you, and you have no control over your life. They got the handler. They make them their wives. The wife is always there, knows the certain keywords, If you don't believe it, watch the movie with Denzel Washington, The Manchurian Candidate, man. You know? It shows you clearly that mind control is a real stuff. So even them, these guys that basically are on the top of Jake's world within this kingdom, when they're going to be coming back in the kingdom of the heaven, in the kingdom of the Heavenly Father, they're going to remember everything that you did unto them. And they're going to rejoice also. But they're not a part of the elect. They're not part of the 144,000 that's going to be walking into the kingdom of heaven, basically. But that's a whole other subject. So with that, I want to finish it off. I want to give all praise to the Most High, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Luchakwadash, and Shalom.